I forget if I shared, but my buddy made a D&D system from scratch based on the Mario and Luigi games, where teamwork isn't mandatory, but lets you do really cool shit. I have learned from Mario Maker 2 that teamwork is a lie, and you will always get thrown into the spikes. I have learned that Princess Peach, not Princess Peach, what is, it's the pink mushroom, the Peachette. I have learned that you cannot trust Luigi. Everything is a lie and you will be cast out at first light. Who's this ethnically ambiguous beauty? Where'd RNG go? Want to play a halfling monk. But no, Pathfinder was really, really weird. You know, like I said, I'm trying to do Words of Power, which is a alternate rule set that they introduced way back at the beginning, like 2007, I think. I want to say it was like their 11th book. It's like Ultimate Magic, whatever that book was. The book that introduced Maguses, introduced Words of Power. And they never once in the rest of the entire run of the game decided to come back to it. To errata the rules, to update the rules, to add more to it. So a lot of people don't play it or have even heard of it because it never got the same love regular Magic did. It just never did. They never came back to it. I think one author was intending to come back to it because it's really designed for sorcerers, basically. It was designed, I think, as a replacement for Magic for spontaneous spellcasters. So sorcerers don't use the wizard spell list. They could actually fundamentally feel completely different without just having different ways of doing the same spells. But the next author, or the author who did the next book, didn't write any into his book, so on and so forth. By the time it came around to, I guess, the author who did the book, he just didn't want to do it anymore because no one was doing it. So it kind of just got left to the wayside, which is a bummer because some of the spells and shit are really good. Some of them people complain like, oh, that's weak for its level, or that's weaker than the regular spell. And it's like, yeah, it's not really. It's really not. The Words of Power system does have a glaring weakness, which is that it kind of makes me feel like it's an AD&D wizard. So that's already a plus in my book, in that you're really weak until you get to higher levels. Like they actually put in like proper scaling, because the way the Words of Power system works is you have to mix the words together. A 0 level word is very weak. A first level word, moderately weak. But when you have access to second level words, some people are like, oh, this second word's slightly below average or something like that. But at that point, you can mix 0 level words together. And just the sheer variety of what you can already do with 0 level words is kind of ridiculous. And then when you get to higher and higher things, you get to mix crazier and crazier words. So by the time you get to the end, you're just fucking blah, blah, blah. You're just rounding off weird nonsense words like it's freaking Dragon Age and you're fucking shouting at people and shit. Low levels, you're really weak though. But like some of the ways they change the spells or they change the effects, even if some of the spells like, oh, this is like a regular wizard spell, but it does this other thing. Some of them are weaker. Some are like just fundamentally weaker. The Words of Power version of Detect Magic, it by default is a 10-foot cone, not like 30 or 60. So, oh golly gee, that sucks. That is so bad. What is Am's I going to do now if I can's not do's to detect magic? That's like one of the things that I've actually read online, people in the forums, people bitching about. Whereas they have the haste spell, a whole spell level early, and it's stronger than the haste spell. Stronger by a head and shoulders. Haste spell, weaker detect magic. Which one of these takes the priority? I don't care if it's weaker detect magic. Get someone else to detect magic. Buy a scroll of buy a wand to detect magic. Who really cares? No, regular haste is like, oh, okay, they get a +2 on attacks, and if they do a full attack action, they get an extra attack and things like that. A full spell level early, the Words of Power haste says every round whoever is affected gets just for free another move action. Not they have to move, not every round they get to move their movement. They get a move action. They get a full chunk of action economy granted to them from the action economy gods. Stupid weird buffs like that. Their summons are a bit stronger. If you do a summon, like with the weird word system, if I mix 2 words together, and one word is I want to summon a monster, and one word is I want to haste someone. If I mix them together, the combined word spell is I want to summon a hasted monster. So it still only takes the one action, but now you've summoned a monster and he's hasted. Or if you're like, oh, I want him to have protection evil, I summon a protected evil monster. If I get high enough to have 3 words together, I summon a hasted protected evil monster. That's just like how it does summons, for instance. Like, there's a lot of shit to cram together into these one words. So you're just cracking out like low levels. Yeah, it's weak. It's like, oh, I only have 0 level words. I do fireballs. I do really weak fireballs, 1d4, boop, 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 fire on you. And then by level 5 and you have 3rd level spells, you're mixing together 1st level words. By that point, you're like, oh, by the way, I'm hitting you with this thing that's gonna do like 5 or 7 d6 damage, and there's no saves, and also you're completely crippled on your movement speed for 2 rounds. And I'm gonna do all of this off of, what's your weakest save? Your weakest save is Fortitude. Great, it's a Fortitude save, because you get to choose what the saves are. But for some reason, people said it was weak. And then also Paizo, I guess, maybe thought the same thing, because they never went back and did the spells. They never went back and did them. I started to do this before in a previous campaign, so some of you might remember me talking about this before. I was playing at the time a Kitsune, because I thought that would go really well with a sorcerer. This time I am playing a construct. What am I called? Iron Word is my familiar. I am a Werwood. I am playing an intelligent wand. My sorcerer bloodline I went with was Sage and Impossible, so that I did all my sorcerer shit off of intelligence, not charisma. Let's fuck charisma. I did all my shit off of intelligence. And then I got rid of my Wereword's dark vision to say that my int counts as 2 higher for bonus spells per day. And Werwood already added 2 to int, so my int is 4 higher than it needs to be in exchange for dark vision. Wasn't even a hard choice. I'm just gonna get rid of dark vision. Fuck it, I guess. Makes the game into a text-based adventure. Yeah, kind of. It's really weird. It's really weird. But like I said, a bunch of people are just like, oh, it's not that good. And I granted to them by the end, because wizards were always getting more and more spells. You could probably say that for a thing, there's probably stronger things in wizards. However, you can break words of power far easier. Far easier. If that's your only thing to look at. In terms of a fun, interesting game, words of power all day. Words of power all day gives more power to the player to envision and describe what the hell they're doing. All day, every day, words of power. Kind of wish that there was more written for it. That kind of blows up there's not. But yeah, no, like for some of the buffs, or no, not even buffs. For some of like the offensive things. At level 0, there are the 4 elements. You have fire, ice, lightning, and acid touches, essentially. And what it is for every word spell you do, you have to choose the effect words. Higher levels, you can choose more. You mix together lower level ones. You can have 1, 2, or 3 effect words. Every spell, no matter what, chooses a target word, meaning that this works like Magicka, where you could set up your 5 elements and you choose to cast it on yourself, cast it as an AoE, or cast it in front of you. You choose your target word. Is this spell a cone? Is it a line? Is it a burst? Do I only target one person? Do I target multiple people? Like, that's a separate thing. That's not to the spell. You mix the ones you want together. And then you can choose boost words, like weird versions of meta magic, except they're words without having to use feats. They're actual words. But for the 4 elements, who are supposedly weak, they say 2 of them do 1d4. I want to say fire and acid do 1d4, and lightning and ice do 1d3 for some reason damage. and they allow reflex saves. But they all say, if you choose this as a selected spell, and if this only has one target as a selected spell, then I'm gonna load it up because I'm gonna say this wrong. Because the key part of this is how it works. Give me a sec. Let me load this up. Effect words of power. I want to say acid burn was a low level one. Why can't I click it? Thank you, internet. Why can't I click acid burn? Oh my god, go away. Acid burn. There it goes. Is this the right one? Oh yes. Acid burn. A word spell with this effect word deals 1d3 points of acid damage. And people are like, oh, but a regular version of that does 1d4. If the word spell has only a single target, it requires a melee or ranged touch attack to hit and does not allow a saving throw. If the word spell requires a melee or touch attack to hit, or if a word spell is a single target, it requires a touch attack and does not allow a saving throw. If the word spell, it doesn't even say if this effect word only has a single target. It says if the word spell. So you mix the zero level word with something else. The word spell only has a single target. This says that it's a touch attack, not a save. Mix that with a level 9 effect. You get what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are like, oh no, it's weak and does this and it does that. And no, you need to have some imagination. The lowest effect words are some of the strongest things in the game because of how you can mix them with the highest effect words. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm putting down? I'm putting down the cards on the table, you turkeys. No, it has a system where if you have a like a 4th level and a 3rd level, the one that's the highest level, that one's saving throw takes precedence. So if it's a fort save and a will save, your spell's a fort save. If they're the same level, you have 2 3s and one's a fort and one's a will, you just get to choose what that save is. You just get to choose what that save is. Which means you might cram on an extra word that you don't need just so it's tied with the highest level to change the entire save over. Oh, I'm fighting a wizard? I guess it's going to be a fort save. Oh, I'm going to do the exact same spell the round afterwards, but I'm targeting a barbarian now? Oh, I guess it's like a will save or a reflex. Get what I'm saying? Like, you just choose whatever their weakest save is. That control alone should warrant that. You would think that they would have put like more into this rule set, but they didn't. Like I said, a bunch of people are like, oh, it's not that strong. It's because you don't have imagination. It's because you don't have the imaginative noggins. But no, if any of you are like wanting something to try out the next time you do Pathfinder, like if you're a player, if your DM allows you to do words of power, you go ahead and you do words of power. Just a heads up, do not do it with someone who is not spontaneous. It does not work right. It is clearly designed for sorcerers. Because if you're a sorcerer, you have 3 spell slots a day. So you just like, oh, what combination would lend itself to a 3rd level spell word? If you're a wizard, you have to choose all of the target and effect words for every combination you're going to use that day in the morning. Regular wizard, you're choosing from a list like 4 spells. Crazy wizard at the beginning of every day has to sit there and be like, oh, I want a cone version of this, and I'm gonna want a fort save on it, and 5 minutes later, are you nearly done? I've picked 1 spell for the day. Shut up. Let's see, there's gonna be a dragon and he's ice, so we'll take the ice word out of this and we'll put in a cone, and if I boost the cone, how many boosts do I have a day? Oh yeah, I can do this. And sorcerers literally just get to, as soon as something happens, be like, all right, what bullshit combination of words will destroy what's happening right now? I'm gonna choose those bullshit words. So if you were to do this, do it with someone that's spontaneous. There's divine versions too, by the way. I don't know all the divine versions of this, but there are divine versions and divine words and so on and so forth. Just pick someone who's spontaneous. Don't do someone who prepares these things, because you have to choose the entire word set from the beginning. It also has the benefit that if you're mixing different words, have different spell schools like conjuration and necromancy and shit. If I pick a conjuration word and I pick a necromancy word and pineapple apple pin that shit, I have a conjuration necromancy spell, which means if I have, say, spell focus conjuration, the entire spell gets +1 to the DCs, including the necromancy effect. If I, for some reason, have spell focus necromancy, oh, I was about to say a weird thing. If I had spell focus necromancy, that could help an evocation spell if my fireball also happens to daze you because of a necromantic effect. So on and so forth. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it. I really like it, though. Oh, God, Magica. So you are a stick. Yes, I'm a stick. If you look up werewoods, I'm a stick. Needs potato seeds. How are we doing on drinks? We're up to thousands again. Good. Good. For the werwood thing, just a quick pick. You're basically a stick. These ones all try to make them look more humanoid. We'll go with this one. It's the actual official pick. I think they're saving for this season in the back anyway, so we're not missing anything. This is what they actually have for the woodwood. Well, obviously, a wooden construct, this small, nimble creature moves fluidly and purposefully. You're made out of wood, and no one knows how to make you. But there was alternate racial feature where I was like, I don't want low light vision or whatever. I have an enchanted body. And it says the wood for my body, was grabbed from wands and broken wands and stabs. So my body looks like it was made out of broken wands. But that's a weirwood, and I should not have closed that yet. And my familiar, which I'm thinking of doing, is an ion word. Looks like this. That's an ion word. And that's supposed to be like an ion stone, and it generates a gravity field or something, and it makes little rocks float around it. That's literally what an ion word is. This one shows one with more stones around it. But yeah, shiny gemstone floats in the air, smaller rocks and gems orbit it. Yeah, they're just little ions. And supposedly their personalities change. I think this one's from 5e. What is this one from? This doesn't look like the book I remember. Whatever, that might be it. I don't know. Whatever. The funny thing is, as a side thing, there was an argument. There was an argument that led to a statement that definitely makes perfect sense out of context. That statement was, and everyone send their kids out or put on their headphones because there's going to be cursing in here. The statement of this argument was, I didn't have to fuck a cat though, did I? Now, if that hasn't won you over to the fact that I'm allowed to have an ion word as a familiar, I don't know what will. In context, because context is ever so important, someone was pointing out that if you were to try to construct an ion word, if you were to try to make an ion word, you have to pay about 500 gold plus, or 1,000 gold, or 500. It's one of the two things. You have to pay like a 500 or 1,000 gold plus the cost of an ion stone, because all ion words have to at all times have at least one ion stone in them. It's what's providing their sentience. So you need to pay that and do it. A reasonable thing would be to say that all ion word familiars start with a dull gray ion stone. The ones that are 25 gold and don't do anything. But they didn't point that out, so some sneaky people were like, oh, well, if I have this as familiar, I can just get whatever ion stone I want, right? So the people arguing against it, which they're pushing it. I would just say you get the familiar. It has a dull gray ion stone in it to start with. You can swap them out whenever you want if you get other ion stones, by the way. But the argument that was happening was you can't start with this familiar at level 1. To which the counter argument was, why not? It doesn't require improved familiar. If they wanted it to be required at level 7, they would have required it on the improved familiar list. But this is not an improved familiar. This is a regular familiar. Ergo, I can start with this at level 1. So the argument against that was that, well, it has a construction cost of 500 gold or 1,000 gold. I don't know why I keep going back and forth between the two, but it's one of these two costs, plus an ion stone. And you do not start with that much money unless you do like 3 different traits. You can start with about that much money in the game. At level 1, you do not have that much money. So you could not have constructed it so you can't start with it. So someone pointed out that they, like, if I die, the Iron Word doesn't necessarily die. Maybe I grabbed one and did a ritual. Why can't I do that? And then the person saying that you need to craft its argument was, no, that's not, you can't do that. If you have an Iron Word, it says it has to be constructed. You need to be the one to construct it. To which the person arguing that I could just find a wild Iron Word and do the familiar spell, his argument was, I don't have to fuck a cat, do I? Because if you have a cat familiar, how does that work? You're allowed to just grab a cat familiar. You're just allowed to just grab a cat and make a cat familiar out of it, right? I didn't have to fuck a cat to get a kitten. To make the kitten my familiar, did I? I'd have to make the cat familiar. That's just such a good argument. I'd have to fuck a cat, did I? I can have this as familiar because I don't have to fuck a cat. But yeah, that was his argument for I don't have to make my first familiar, was I don't have to fuck a cat. Why is Zakthos dead? Someone want to tell me why Zakthos is dead? Did he die of old age? Was Zakthos old? Does anyone remember? He's just dead. Yeah, I don't know. He's just dead. Now it says he's fighting, but that was a while ago. 16th of Limestone? Is that today? Did I not hear the sound sense? Why was he fighting? Yeah, Grease Monkey was fighting Zakthos. I don't know why. Rip. Otherwise, immediately end your turn. All right. He was deemed unworthy. But yeah, no, Words of Power, I feel deserves more than it's given credit for. Yes, compared to the wide plethora of things you can choose for regular wizards nowadays. Yes, regular wizards and sorcerers have more spells to choose from. And thus it's probably stronger to have one of those to really do something. But Words of Power's ability to counter anything you're opposing, as well as the ability to, I don't know, make you actually have to try, coupled with it really is powerful if you do try. I feel like Words of Power needs to be shown some love. Actually, why am I building this anymore? If I had a man deconstruct that, would he die? Does he have to be on it to deconstruct it? Remember, we had a guy fall off one of these before, and I don't know how or why. He does just sit on it as he deconstructs it, doesn't he? Who is this? Do we care? Alapega. 1, 2, 3, 4. He would probably get hurt and die, wouldn't he? All right, fine. Don't do that, you moron. All right, so this is the absolute ground floor that I can do for this tunnel. I'm going to need to start digging to the left to figure out how I'm going to do this. If I do a drain system, there's going to need to be a control system so that I can actually drain the water out. I don't need the water to necessarily leave fast. I just need to make sure I can have a method of making the water leave. This is going to need to be dug out a little bit because I want this to be like a flat area and thus easier to do the tunnels from. So this will get dug. This will get dug out to that point. Then I'll do the rest of the tunnels and stuff from there.
Oh, go away. Oh, I won't do it. I said no.
There's a bird flying around causing problems. Yes, this is Pathfinder 1.0. Pathfinder 2 probably won't even touch it. I don't know. Pathfinder 2's rules are weird. Like, from what I read so far for the YouTube channels, I get the feeling that they're going like weird directions with the new Pathfinder. I don't know what they're doing. Like, I can't follow their train of thought. Like, Pathfinder 2nd edition doesn't so much as feel like Pathfinder's answer to D&D 5th edition, so much as I feel like it's Pathfinder's answer to D&D 4th edition. Like, I don't know what they're doing or why. Like, they had to go out of their way to disallow or change some things when they really kind of didn't. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Pathfinder 2 is sloppy. Like, I don't... Like, Pathfinder 1, they clearly didn't read some things through. Pathfinder 2, it's like... This sounds like ideas you'd bounce off the wall and it wasn't fleshed out. Like, I tried... I'm going to go back to the same argument I had before. There was someone who disagreed with me on my gnome video. I was trying to make a point to make gnomes stronger, and this player, or I'm assuming player, argued with me that the gnomes should have an ability, and I wasn't arguing that they shouldn't. But in character creation, races get to choose like racial feats and racial abilities. All right. And at level 1, they get to choose kind of like what their background is. What type of human are you? What type of elf are you? Are you a high elf or are you a wood elf? You know, what type of dwarf are you? Things like that. And this type selection chooses like your different starting abilities, that type of thing. For elves, for free, they get like low light vision, and then they can choose, oh, okay, do I want to know every skill in the game, or do I want to be good at magic? Like those are the types of choices they make. Be good at magic or know every skill in the game at max forever. Oh, okay. And then you get to gnome, and they get their 2 choices. I forget what the second one is, but one of their choices is the ability to talk to small burrowing mammals. My argument is, or was, why do gnomes have to make a choice where one of their things is to talk to small burrowing mammals? That's not that strong of an ability. If you like weigh that in numerical superiority to can do every skill in the game, that's not even close. If you were going to put in can talk to small burrowing mammals, it should have been done as something free, like the elves' low light vision. The elf doesn't have to choose to have low light vision. It's just like, oh, they're an elf, they have low light vision. But that they don't do that for the gnome. The gnome has to choose to be like the gnome who does illusion or the gnome that talks to small burrowing mammals, something like that. And my argument in the video was, this doesn't make sense. This should not be here. This shouldn't be a choice. Gnomes should kind of just have this for free. And then someone argued with me and they said gnomes have always had the ability to talk to small burrowing mammals since like 1st edition. Wasn't even my argument. I just ended up letting that one fall to the side. It was like, okay, let's agree to disagree here, because I don't think we're understanding each other. But like, it's just really completely sloppy. Like, I feel like nobody sat there and was like, what are we giving humans? What are we giving elves? What are we giving orcs? What are we giving gnomes? You know what I'm saying? I don't think anyone sat there and took these things together. I think they just wrote it down. They're like, all right, what types of gnomes are there? What do we know about gnomes? Oh, they could talk to small burrowing mammals. They do illusion. They do something else. All right, we got our choices for gnome. Like, I feel like they didn't think that out. That's a heavily unfair comparison. Humans and trolls still can't fit through mouse holes. so he didn't get to chime in. But like, it's really weird. And then they had one for barbarian, which I was apparently slightly wrong on, because there's some other rule that's dumb, but it still kind of mostly holds up in my opinion. And that was, if you're a barbarian, you get to choose what in the world enrages you. So you get to be like, dragons infuriate me. Or you can be like, animals infuriate me. And it's like the idea of totem barbarian, except for whatever your thing is, like there's a good chance that whatever it was, you have to fight them whenever you see them. So if you're a dragon, I think you have two choices. Either you pray to them religiously, or you want to fucking end them. So if you're a dragon barbarian, your two choices are, if you see a dragon and you want to keep this bloodline shit going, or not bloodline, but you get what I'm saying. If you see a dragon, you have to like kneel before it. You have to prostrate yourself before the dragon and like fucking suck whatever body part it wants you to suck, because you just love dragons so much. Or you are not allowed to not fight a dragon. If you hear a rumor about a dragon, you have to go hunt it down. If there's a dragon in front of you, you have to try to kill it. These are your two choices if you are dragon, for instance. I'm not really here arguing what you have to do. I don't care about those particular options. My point though is, if you do dragon, for instance, and you rage, depending upon the dragon, you do like an extra D6 or D8 elemental die of damage. And it gets stronger. And I'm not saying it doesn't have strong abilities. I'm not saying dragon's weak by any regard. They're all kind of mostly balanced. It's either like you do an extra 1d10 of damage, or you do like an extra 1d8, but it's elemental, or you get extra 2 strength, some weird things like that. It's like, all right, that's pretty good. That's pretty cool. These are all balanced. And then you get to like giant barbarians. And if you're like an angry giant barbarian, when you rage, you become large. Just at level 1, when you rage, you become large. Regardless of your size, you become large. And your shit grows with you. And you get more strength. And you are now, in fact, a large creature. That's what it starts with. And it gets stronger at higher levels. You just become large is your starting barbarian thing. Is whenever you are angry, you are now large. And then later on, it gets bigger. And also, as a freebie, I think at level 1, you get to use large weapons. But when you get enlarged, things get bigger with you. So if you're a human and you do this, you use a weapon 1 above you and you get larger to large, and your weapon becomes huge. If you're a dwarf or someone small, whatever actually counts as small, let's go with gnome, I guess, for instance. If you're a gnome, you still use a large weapon. And then you jump to large, and your large weapon goes up 2 above that. So huge to whatever's above huge. Huge, gigantic, enormous. I don't know what's above huge. So you have a fucking ungodly strong, high strength and weapon. I was like, this is really weird. This doesn't balance at all. And admittedly, my thing was, and that I misunderstood was, I thought it went up in damage die. So I was like, okay, so now your weapon does what? 2d6, 3d6, 4d6? Because it was large to begin with, so now it's a 4d6 weapon. And the disagreement was, no, somewhere in one of the books, they point out that if you have a weapon and the weapon gets larger, not its default state, just if the weapon gets larger or something like that, it doesn't do increased hit die. It does something else. It doesn't do extra dies of damage. So all weapons throughout the game just do the same dice of damage. Speaking of giants, hold on, I'll get to this description. So it doesn't get stronger, but then I was like, so I just dropped my weapon on them then. The weapon still got bigger. So if I have a large, dense maul made of the heaviest metal I can think of, what happens every round? I just drop it on him. If I hit him and he does 2d6, or if I drop it from above him and it does 4d6, I'll just drop the weapon every round. That was my argument. I was like, even if they tried to nerf how much you could directly do, which is stupid and asinine, I was like, what's to stop me from just dropping the weapon on him? I'm hitting him with a weapon that's like 7 tons in weight now. If I hit him with a hammer, it's going to hit him with 7 tons worth of weight of damage. Doesn't make sense to go ping and do 1d6 or whatever they were saying. So that was my workaround for them trying to cripple your ability to get large. But still, it's like you do 1 extra 1d8 damage, or you have a ginormous weapon and you're large. What the fuck?
Which one? This one? This one. Yes, here we go. The Cyclops Fab Esokala Lemakadap has come. It rolls right off the tongue. A giant humanoid monster with a single eye set in its forehead.
All right, so we have a Cyclops. We don't have much in terms of military, especially because one of them died earlier. So I'm just going to station them at the door and see how this goes. Perhaps the Jaguar will hold it back until my military gets there. Oh, the merchants are leaving. Maybe the merchants will help me. They're running away from the merchants are dead. No, the Cyclops is dead. We're already carrying the body. Who fought him? Wait, that might not have been a merchant. That might have been one of ours. Sanctum is dead. We did have someone die. Sanctum could not get his equipment because he was interrupted by a Cyclops. He was outside. So, frickin' F for Sanctum. Big F. Who fought it? The chief doctor was even in on that shit. There was a merchant. Blue Peahen is fighting the Mine King. Maybe Sanctum killed it and died at the same time. That must have been the guy I saw.
The Mine King. Ooh, too much. The Mine King kicked the Cyclops in the right upper leg with their right foot, bruising the fat. There's only one page. Ooh. The Cyclops takes the Mine King down by the third finger right hand with the Cyclops' left arm. I grapple with my bicep. The Cyclops releases the grip in the left upper arm of the Mine King's third finger right hand. What is lethal?
What is lethal? I mean, this is probably lethal to the miner.
The Cyclops punches the Mine King in the right upper leg with his right hand, and the injured part explodes into gore, opening an artery. The force bends the right hip, and the hip also splits in gore, tearing a ligament and a tendon. The Mine King immediately gives into pain, and who wouldn't? His leg had just exploded all the way up to his right hip. He's fallen, and he can't get up. The Cyclops grapples the Mine King's right ankle and bends the foot until it explodes. The Cyclops lets go of the exploded foot and then punches the head until it explodes. That's how he died. The Cyclops punched the miner in the head with his right hand, and the head exploded into gore, and an artery was opened as well. Maybe that was lethal, I don't know. Something between there being a missing head and an artery, somewhere in there probably killed Sanctum.
I don't think Sanctum got any attacks in on the Cyclops. What killed the Cyclops? The merchant? Chief Doctor? Oh, Chief Doctor did this. Petrolsky. Is Petrolsky on our military? Petrolsky's on the military. I didn't know Chief Doctor was in the military. Holy shit. Way to go, Sawbones. Okay. I looked over you because I didn't think you were doing any fighting.
The Chief Doctor Petrolsky whips out her steel battle axe and runs into combat. First strike, the Chief Doctor lodged the steel battle axe in the Cyclops' neck, tearing the muscle and fracturing the upper spine. As an opening attack, just straight in there.
That can only be done with medical precision. That's exactly what happens. Petrolsky's running out there, sees a Cyclops, and pulls like not Doctor Who. Why am I forgetting this man's name? Moriarty. Sherlock Holmes. Pulls a Sherlock Holmes, is like, jump onto the left thigh, leaping at 45-degree angle. This is clearly a drunk Cyclops, so he won't turn his neck in time. If I sink my axe at a 23-degree angle while going, then his neck will cut in half. He's like, did some like crazy shit. Death is all around me, and this is truly horrifying. Let's jump to the end and see where lethal is. There was a whole bunch of I hacked at its head, so what made it go unconscious? At somewhere in there, it passed out. She just kept hacking at it with the steel battle axe until, I guess, somewhere it was on the ground, because she immediately just started opening and just let loose on the head. Attacks the head, 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 attacks the head. There's an entire page of her just hacking at the Cyclops' neck with a steel battle axe. Holy shit. I don't even know what dropped it. Oh, wait, no. 2 pages. There's 2 pages of hitting it in the head. Yeah, all right. Kind of wish there was like a defining moment of what killed, but there isn't. Now the problem is we're not going to have music because it's superseded. What's his name? Swearer. The swearers. Come to me, swearer. Oh, great bringer of dwarven music, please sing your songs for me. Of course, we are going to have a slight issue. This is on the wrong computer. Also, I just spit on the mic. All right. Now, Domine, I don't know if you're still here. Yours is like the last room I haven't done yet. I can do it. Like, usually tombs, in order to be a tomb, it's assigned to one person. But you want it to be as a library, which is not assigned to one person. So I don't know if you're wanting a tomb in a library. You want a library that's thematically a tomb. Yours kind of confuses me, I'm not going to lie. Oh, ho. NPC and the Holler have gotten married. Congratulations. His head fucking exploded. Imagine getting on the dock's tractor bitch, pulls out a steel battle axe and tells you, don't worry, it'll be done fast. One space coffin in the middle of a big library? Yeah, that's kind of it though. Like, I only have 2 high quality room designations and Domine did one of them. And it says high quality tomb. I would be fine with that by itself. And it says that functions as our library. We do not yet have one. I can do a tomb for Domine, but I don't think I can make it be a library. Or I can do a library, but I don't think I can make it be a tomb. Wouldn't be able to do both. Also, who already has tombs? Okay. I'm gonna go with the first part where it says high quality tomb. I don't think he's still here anymore, and I have no fucking clue how to do this. Oh, this is just the room someone in the corner. Forgot about that. The fuck am I doing? There we go. I'll do that to be a tomb. So I get buried in a nice tomb? Well, no. If Domine is asking for a high quality tomb, it'll be assigned to Domine, just like a bedroom or anything else. You probably just got buried in a coffin somewhere. I mean, we take care of our dead. Definitely nothing to see here. Because we have this burial plot here. I don't even think they're all filled. Oh no, are they all filled? Might need more coffins. Zakthos, this is where you're buried. We need more. So that'll get out and they'll put in more coffins. Means we should order more coffins. No. That's right, we have a manager now, don't we? Feels bad. Don't think of the fact that the miners are right now having to pass your very cheap coffin to go build a very nice tomb for Domine. Don't think about that. Every dwarf is created equal from beginning to end. Domine's tomb has got some sand in it. Why is there sand down here? Why is there sand down here? That's sand, right? Clay. All right, I guess we might have to end up using Domine's tomb as a clay collection source. I didn't know there was clay. Why is there clay here? Why is clay showing up? Oh, now you're just rubbing it in. Oh, I'm not even joking, actually. It's a funny thing. I don't know why I designed it this way, but this is where you are buried. You are buried here, and they have to go through that to get to this stairwell over here to get to the tombs. I don't know why I designed it that way. That seems kind of a dick. That seems kind of like a dick move, if I'm being honest with myself. Yeah, there's just... Well, is this clay over here? Is this wall clay then? Yeah, okay, no, yeah, there's clay in the southeastern corner. Hey, CJ. Did you do that on purpose or on accident? Hold on. This is the problem, is I got the wrong computer doing the music. I'm gonna redo that alert. Where's activity feed? Why don't I load Simon Swear up on this computer?
CJ_the_insane_gifter gifted a tier 1 sub to Mountain Home. They have given 163 gift subs in the channel.
There we go. Close that over here. I knew that was going to lead to a problem.
Squid 1, Squid 2, Squid 3, Squid 2, Squid 4.
What? Yay. Oh, that's the actual name of the emotes. I just ended up sounding really weird in chat. Squid 1, Squid 2, Squid 3, Squid 4. Thank you so much for subbing. And now that you've hit 12 months, you, as you saw, get the royal. You get the doinketh. For you are truly the doinketh of all subscribers. It sounded bad. Dude, you idiot, you're a doinketh. Thank you for subbing. Thank you for your support to the channel. The school season, fuck, I'm stuck in anime mode. The school semester should be coming to an end soon, and I can start streaming more often than just Saturdays. As soon as the school easin'. What is it easin' now? As soon as the school semester is over. That being said though, there might be a Saturday coming up, maybe even next Saturday, where I don't stream. Because we're coming to the end, so now I've got 2 5-page reports due, 2 team projects, and I think some other major project. Like it's because it's coming to the end, everything's becoming due. When Corona first started, the teachers pushed back a bunch of things, saying like, all right, well, we're not going to discuss this, and then afterwards you'll do this, so on and so forth. So like last week, I did my midterm. Midterm was last week. But I think in like a month or less than a month is the final, maybe? Like, it's really weird. So coming up here might get a little ridiculous. So what's probably gonna happen is there's might have to be a Saturday I don't stream.
Hiya.
Hold on, trying to confirm. January, February, March, April. When are finals? It says semester ends. Finals are on May 18th. So I have exactly 1 month left, and I just did midterms. This whole semester is a clusterfuck. What a beautiful doink chew. Everyone look at my doink. Yeah, no, this is gone fucking weird. And then I have one class where the teacher hasn't even wholly addressed us. Like, we have things, but we don't. It's really weird. I know what's going on in that class. So I couldn't begin to tell you if I'm going to get slammed because of it. Couldn't tell you. Now, these have all been turned on, and they are allowed for... Oh, used for burial. I made all these, like, really tiny tombs. Free tomb used for burial. That's how you do it. Not whatever I did. No, I'm not burying people's pets. Well, a beautiful doink. You come to me this day, the day of my doink. How could I refuse? The day of my doink. Is this a wild animal? There's a giant cougar where we're building. Also, the station command never went away. That's probably making people angry. Yeah, we're gonna give them a bit to calm down, get their food on. I forgot I had them still on station. I thought I heard secondary noise in the background. Holy shit. TJ the Insane Gifter, I think you've made it back. I didn't read it that time. Why didn't it read it that time? Thank you so much, CJ, for gifting subs. Some of them aren't here, but some of those people are here. I'm certain that they're very appreciative if they're not paying attention. Pathar, Ghost Word, and Zakthos. Good shit. Good shit right there. Is that what the gift sub was earlier? To Mountain Home was to get it out of the way so you could do the random gift sub so it wouldn't go to Mountain Home like it always does? You have to tier 1 sub to Stitch and Stella. Nice. Thank you so much, CJ.
CJ underscore the underscore insane underscore gifter gifted a tier 1 sub to Stitch in Stella. They have given 169 gift subs in the channel.
I'm assuming that means that whatever I've set up now, it reads it, but only if it's 1 sub, not random subs. Birthday girl sub. Stitch and Stella, is she the birthday girl? Happy birthday, Harimal. You go, girl. I die, get a sub in my coffin as an attraction for workers. Whose birthday is it? Is it your birthday or Stitch and Stella's birthday? Said yep. I feel like that was probably stream delayed, making that confusing because you answered way fast. So I'm assuming that was an answer to something else. It's Stella's birthday. All right. Who is Stella? Is Stella here? Do I know Stella? Happy birthday, Stella. Happy birthday, Stitchin'. Happy birthday, Stitchin' Stella. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Happy fucking birthday. And after this, we're gonna have to sing about the death cycle. You can't have birth without death. Fucking Aqua Teen Hunger Force. No, she is a craft streamer. Well, I figured if it said Stitchin'. She is currently streaming bingo. Okay. Is she crafting the bingo? Or she just happens, I have yet to win though. Or is she just doing the bingo? What? I'll admit, you've got me intrigued. What is going on? Who is Stitch and Stella? I've got an ad, of course I do. All right, so we've nearly got this floor completed. She is hosting a birthday. Oh, she's hosting. Okay. And if you win bingo, do you what is going on? Birthday stream, let's play bingo and just have as much fun as possible. Well, that's nice. So do you know Stitch and Stella? I mean, I'm guessing you know. Does she know me, or is she gonna get a random thing like, you're subscribed to this channel? She gonna send me a whisper later being like, why am I subbed to you? She's one of the people that I break. Nice. Weirdly, this isn't a request for low quality room. I just want to get you to dig to the magma level. This won't be accepted. Oh, well, I just wasted points. Technically not wrong. Okay. I will attempt a thing to the magma level. I'll be careful about this though, because, you know, I don't want to die. I'm gonna do 3 layers and then put a floor hatch on it, and then we'll go over to the left and I'll continue from there. In the off chance I hit a cavern, I don't want to get invaded and die. Messages go, who the hell are you and why am I now subscribed? That's what I'm saying, like, I'm gonna get an email or something like, who are you?
How dare you subscribe me to you? I will end you at the range of 1,000 stitches.
Why are my miners not doing this now? Because they're constructing building. Well, shit. Can we stop constructing building? I have more important things for you to do. What if I set this to low priority? Oh, I want a free fund. What? Why? My manager will hear about this. Is that a thing? I've not done it yet, but I'm gonna just mark that as complete already. I'm digging. It's gonna take a minute. I might not be able to get that done on today's stream, depending on whether or not I get interrupted by a cavern. But I will see the tunnel and be like, oh, I remember what this was for. Now this tomb was for Domine. All right, Domine has been assigned a tomb, but he wanted it to be a good one. Domine right now says fine. We don't want fine. We want fantastic. We want fan-frickin-tastical. I want frickin' sharks with frickin' lasers on their heads. I'm going to engrave it. That didn't look right. No, I guess that is right. All right, that's how that works. Didn't I re-roll in the mayor? I wasn't paying attention to her. Here's the issue. You probably did. But mayor is a elected thing. I can hit replace, but when they have elections, you might get fired. You know what I'm saying? Like, mayor is not the, like when I have nobility and you have the guy below him that gets just assigned. So I could replace mayor. That's probably what happened at some point, because there's no way I had the same guy do both. But that guy got elected. Oh. Mr. Mantium got taken out. Was that his first roll? Did he do Russian roulette and get taken out by the first roll? Bye, Mr. Mantium. And with that, for all you watching the archive on YouTube, we've come to our break. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.